So today, we're not only going to do the first page, and we're going to start looking at numbers or fractions. Of course, we can use interchangeably. This fraction is a number, where the number is bigger than 1. You have more than one whole thing. Okay? So that's what we're going to look at today, is how do we deal with that situation? For example, I shouldn't have put this in. I should have made that a blank. But here we have 3 circles, right? And if I wanted to write down what is the fraction that represents this, we have 2 full circles, right? So that's 2. Then we have 1 circle that is partially filled, right? That becomes our fraction. And the way we created our fraction, the bottom number is how many pieces there are. So the circle is broken up into 4 pieces, and we shaded in 3. That's how that number gets created.
Mr. Dhaliwal, right? Where are we?
We're in the notes, the group book.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, day 4 on group book. Okay, so then we're going to create the exact same, for the exact same image over here. So that's called a mixed fraction. But now if you look at this image over here, it's identical to that almost, right? We have 2 full circles and a partially filled circle, right? However, the slight difference is these first 2 circles have the lines going through it, okay? Now that's telling us that we're not going to have a whole number out in the front. We're going to count how many shaded pieces there are all together. Right? So here, the bottom number is 4 because each shape is broken up into 4 pieces. Then the top number is how many are shaded. We have 4 in this one, 4 here. So 4, 8, and another 3 here. We have 11. So we have 11 little quarters shaded in. Right? So now this is called an improper fraction. This one's called a mixed fraction. Now if you look at the diagrams, they are the exact same value. 2 full circles and 3/4 of the second one. Right? We need to be able to jump back and forth between these 2 styles of numbers. How do you convert from a mixed number to an improper fraction? Or back and forth without the diagrams. It's really easy to do with the diagrams, but we need to know the math routine to jump back and forth without the diagrams, right? To go from a mixed number to improper, it's not too hard, right? So I'm going to start off with this one, just a little blank space over here. So those 2 are exact same value. How do I go from here to there, right, is this. So write out this fraction. Okay. So now notice between the 2 methods, the denominator doesn't change. The 4 and the 4 stays the same. So it's equal a fraction with the 4 there. So the 4 tells us how big are the pieces that we broke this circle into. So that's not changing, right? We broke them up into size 4, broke the circle into size 4. That doesn't change. So that remains the same between both 2 things, right? And the top number tells you how many there are shaded, right? So to go for this, we have to figure out the top number. On the other one, we go, well, there's 2 whole ones. So we go, and each whole one has 4 pieces in it. So we go 2 times 4. So altogether, we have 8 there. Right? 2 times 4 is 8. Then the third piece, we have 3 little pieces. So we multiply, then add. So altogether, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 gives us 11 out of 4 pieces. And that's how you jump from the mixed fraction to the improper fraction. You multiply, then add. Okay? So let's do this one together here. So we're going to convert it. Right? We need to first write down the denominator. That doesn't change. And here, our circle, we haven't drawn it, but it's broken up into 3 pieces. Right? Now to figure out the numerator. We multiply, then add. So you go 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 2 gives us 5. Right? So 5 over 3. Now, if I were to draw this, I'm never going to actually get you to draw this, but if I were to draw the first one, right, it'd be, if I were to draw that, it'd be 2 full circles, right? It's first, the partial is broken up to 3 pieces, so it'd be like that, right? And we have 2 of them shaded. That's what the fraction says. The other one says, hey, this whole thing shaded, right? And now to go to this version, all it's saying is, hey, let's just take that whole one and just break it up into the lines like this, right? So we go like this, we break it up into the lines. Now altogether, how many are shaded? We have 2 here and 3 here. We have 5 altogether. Right, so it's so much nicer and easier to be able to just look at it and do it, but the process is very slow, so we need to be able to do the mathematical way for just jumping from here to there. All right, so there's 3 questions over here. I'll do one with you guys, and I want you guys to do the other 2. Which one would you like me to do with you? Left, middle, or right?
Middle. Middle.
Middle? All right. So let's do this one together. Okay, let's start off with the denominator. What's the denominator going to be? 5. It doesn't change. 5 here stays a 5. All right. Next step, figure out the numerator. Mason? Not multiply. You use a calculator if you want, or use your times table. 9 times 5. Sorry? What's 9 times 5? 45. Then we have 45 plus 2. 47. That's right. Okay? So now, your turn. The denominator doesn't change. Oh, that should have been a 7 there. Figure out what the numerator should be here for each one of these. I'll come around and I'll help you. Pause. That is so nice to see. Everybody I looked at got them right or made just one tiny little mistake. This one, people got right. Some people made a mistake on this one because they didn't multiply those numbers together, set it correctly. 7 times 3 is 21. Add the 1, gives us 22. That's it. All right, so we're going to do this calculation a lot. This is the direction we do more often. But we need to be able to go the other way as well. If I give you this, 11 over 4, how do we create the 2 3/4? So if I gave you the 11 over 4, how do we go the other way? Right? So let's just find a little spot off to the side here. Okay. So 11 over 4. We want to create the fraction going the other way. The denominator doesn't change, right? We're still having it broken up out of 4 pieces. But now, there's 2 numbers we need to come up. The number out front and the numerator. Okay? So, the number out front represents, Hallie, the whole. How many times did we fill this up whole? So how many times can 4 fit into 11? There's going to be extra left over, but how many times can 4 fit into 11? 2 times, right? And if you're not sure how we came up with that, you can go a couple of different ways. So let's go put a 2 here. You can grab your multiplication chart. Let's do I have an easy one here. All right, you go scrolling down. All right, right to the very end, right? Come on. I look at my 4 multiples. That goes 4, 8, 12. 12 is too much, so the most we can fit is 8 pieces. So that's 2 times. We can fit it 2 times in. And if that's still too difficult, we can use our calculator. And you go, let's scroll this back up to where we were. We were right here. If you wanted to use our calculator, we can go, remember a fraction just means to divide. So we can go 11 divided by 4 and we get the decimal version, it says, hey, we fit in 2 times and some left over. So that's the 2 full, right? The whole is the number before the decimal. Yes?
You could just minus 4 until you can't anymore.
Oh yeah, you can do that as well. You just go 11 minus 4, 11 minus 4, until you run out of space. Excellent. So now, we fit it in twice. So 4 times 2 is 8. What's left over? We need to get to 11. We got all the way to 8. What's the remainder? What? 3. We need 3 more to get to 11.
So
That's how.
3?
I'll put the 3 right. Oh, that doesn't show up very well. 3. There. Okay. So let's do this one together. All right. So we have our fraction we're going to create. We need to figure out the whole number. We need to figure out the numerator. All right. So 5 fits into 13 fully. How many times?
Twice.
Twice. All right. So that's the big giant 2 out front. So it'll be 5 times 2 is 10. What's left over?
That's actually so easy. 3.
3. Because we're trying to get to 13. Right? So 5 times 2 is 10. We need 3 more to get to 13. That's it. All right. 3 questions over here. I do 1, you guys do 2. Which one do you want me to do?
32.
Middle again? Okay. So remember, denominator stays the same. Whole number, numerator. 10 fits into 32. How many times? 3 times. I go 10, 20, 30. Fits in 3 times. Then I need 2 more to get to 32. That's the 2 there. That's it. All right. So your job now, do it for the other ones. So 5, 7, whole number, numerator, numerator. What should it be? One of them is kind of a little tricky. The last one's a little tricky. Around. I like how fast people moved on this. It's fantastic. The first one, I think nobody had any issues. 5 fits into 12 twice. That's 5 times 2 is 10. Then we had another 2 left over to get up to 12. This one's a little trickier. 7 fits into 28 4 times. And how many do we have left over? 0, because it fits in perfectly. So technically we could put a 0 there, but that's not needed. If we have nothing left over, our answer should just be 4. Fits in 4 perfectly. It's not wrong to have the 0 over 7, but remember 0 divided by anything, it's gone, right? So it just fits in 4. Full times. All right. So that is it for today.